As Swami Vivekananda said, expansion is life, contraction is death. That is the meaning. Therefore, we worship the Adi Yoga, the Adi Yogi Shiva, who is having all pervasive awareness, the embodiment of the highest power, knowledge, freedom, and bliss. So, with that, we now come to the MSRT. MSRT, Mind Sound Resonance, is the acronym for Mind Sound Resonance Technique. MSRT. Next. So in the next slide, we will see the dimensions related to this. All of you are aware that the Upanishads tell us that we are not just a physical body, but we have got 4 more bodies. And they are designated as Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. The physical body is known as the Annamaya Kosha, the grossest among the 5 bodies. In creation at large, we have this physical world which is designated as Annamaya. And it's all electromagnetic field, we can say. Then we have the subtle layers of the creation, bioplasmic field, the astral or the mind field, then we have the information of the intelligent field. These are all the subtle layers of our creation, subtler bodies which we all have. And the root cause of all that is Anandamaya Kosha, called the Karana Sharira. Anandamaya Kosha is the layer of bliss. In the creation at large, all these 5 layers are all in continual interaction. Similarly, in each one of us, these 5 bodies are in continual interaction. A change in one brings a change in the other. And according to this, we have the Anandamaya Kosha as the causal, Karana. From there comes the Vijnanamaya Kosha, from there the Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, finally the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body. So to deal with all these koshas, we developed advanced techniques. Cyclic meditation or CM at the body level, PET at the pranic canalization technique in the Pranamaya Kosha. And at the Manomaya Kosha, we have 3 techniques, MSRT, MIRT and MEMT. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, we have Vijnana Sadhana Kaushala, Visakha. Anandamaya Kosha, we have ANAMS, Anandamrita Sinchana. These are the 7 techniques that were developed in the context of cancer.
Next slide.
In the next slide, you can see the objectives of MSRT. What is it that we achieve by doing MSRT? It helps us to overcome the fear of death. It increases the vitality and it also releases us from the bondages. What are the bondages we have? Bondage of the mind. What is it? The mind goes on thinking. Since we get up in the morning till we sleep, thinking, that's the bondage. What are the emotion? What are the bondages of the emotion? We are tossed up and down in emotional upsurges, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation, arrogance, all good qualities and bad qualities, all emotions. What is the bondage of intellect? Wrong notion, perverted knowledge, limited knowledge. Then what is the bondage of the Anandamaya Kosha? No bliss. Bliss is less. The amount of happiness that we get is very, very, very meager. Finally, what is the bondage of the body? The body has to be fed by food or by fluids and so on. Can we overcome all these bondages? Yes, says yoga. And MSRT helps us to move one step to release from these bondages, essentially the bondage of the mind. In the next slide, we say to understand what is meant by the MSRT. Next one. So, what is mind? Mind, sound, resonance. Three words we have to understand. According to modern science, mind is functioning of the brain cells. So, if the brain is not there, if the brain cells are not there, then there is no mind. Mind cannot exist without brain. This in science is known as the matter-based approach. That means everything is nothing but the body. From the body comes the prana, the mind, the emotions and intellect and consciousness and all the other dimensions. It's called upward causation, as described by Professor Amit Goswami. So this is the understanding of the mind. Mind is functioning of the brain cells. But what is mind according to yoga? Yoga tells that mind can exist even without the physical body. As we mentioned, first Anandamaya Kosha, the mind is in the frozen form. Then in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, mind starts coming into operation. Then it becomes stronger and stronger in the Manomaya Kosha, manifests in the form of what you call as emotions. And from there it comes down the Pranamaya Kosha, manifesting it itself as the prana, the basic fabric of all the living systems. And then finally it grasses itself into the form of the physical body. So mind exists in all the four layers before it comes into the physical body and manifests through the brain into all aspects. That's the main difference. This is known as downward causation. Anandamaya Kosha is primary, from there the body, Annamaya Kosha is the last. Anandamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, then finally the Annamaya Kosha. Then how do we define mind? Mind is featured by Chitta Vrittis. Mind is collection of thoughts. Chitta Vrittis. In the next slide, we will see that definition of sound according to science. According to science, sound is a form of energy. It moves in the form of waves. A medium is necessary for the sound to travel. We all probably have studied this in our high school days with a simple experiment called bell jar experiment. You have got a glass jar, it has got a tight thing which can be closing it, and we keep a bell inside, something like a calling bell. It is connected by a wire outside. Now we close the bell jar and put the electric signal by switching on. Then you can see the inside the calling bell is ringing and you can hear the sound outside. Now you open up the bell jar and evacuate it. Remove all the air from the bell jar and again close it. Then you switch on and you can see the bell continuously moving, but you are not hearing any sound. This shows that a medium is necessary for the sound to travel. I am talking and you are able to hear because the sound in the form of waves are going to go, enter into your ear, goes into the brain, and since you know the language, you understand what I am talking. If you don't know the language, then you have a problem. or if your ear is not proper, then you have the problem and so on. So this is the understanding. It has a fixed speed, and the speed varies depending on the medium. The speed of sound in air is different. The speed of sound in water could be different. The medium, if a solid wall, it could be different, and so on. But what is the concept of sound according to yoga? The word for sound is called Shabda. Shabda is a taranga. Taranga means wave. So, here, the sound travels in the form of waves, spanda, and medium is not necessary for the Shabda to travel. So, when there is a medium, we hear the sound. That's called ahata sound, the sound that is heard. But when we don't hear the sound, still the sound is propagating. This is called the unheard sound in space. For example, in the mind, you go on repeating Om, 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 only in the mind. Then you are hearing sound inside the brain, not from outside. It's called anahata. So there's the heard and the unheard, ahata and the anahata. And a wave is distinguished by its frequency and the amplitude. Number of waves in a minute is called as the frequency. Number of waves in a second. Whereas amplitude is how big is the wave. So amplitude and frequency are the ones that govern the sound. That is the definition of sound. Now we come to the third. What is resonance? Resonance is a very special phenomenon that occurs when two sound waves come together. When the two sound waves are exactly having the same frequency and have the same phase, a special thing happens that's called resonance. A very interesting thing happened in England when they wanted to cross a bridge which was newly built. A group of soldiers started marching across the bridge. As they reached the end of the bridge, about 150 soldiers, the whole bridge oscillated and collapsed. Everybody is shockingly surprised. There are no tornado, there is no floods, nothing whatsoever. The scientists and the engineers were put into operation to find out how this happened, why happened. They all came and started studying and studying. They found there is no other reason except the fact that the 150 soldiers marched across the bridge. When the soldiers marched left, 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 the frequency of the march coincided with the natural frequency of the bridge, and resonance occurred. Huge energy was produced and the whole bridge collapsed. So in resonance, there's a tremendous amount of energy that comes up. So in yoga, what is the concept of this resonance? This we call the first step as what we call as tuning. The tuning as the first step is done by Shruti in each. You have a veena or a tambura or a violin. What you do is you have to first set the frequency according to the Shruti of the singer. If I got a shrill voice, I have to adjust the frequency to my voice. That is the Shruti. then to bring the resonance, there is what is called the G. So you adjust a small thread which is there in this instrument to see that it brings resonance. When this is done, if you touch the string, pluck the string, then the whole veena or the tambura will resonate as one whole. So this is called resonance. So how this resonance is brought into operation in the MSRT? We produce the sound of Brahmari, the humming sound of a bee. When you produce this sound in the throat, the sound should not be only in the throat, but it should spread throughout the body, from toes to head. That is called resonance. So we have three terms: mind, sound, and resonance. They have understood. Now, what is this technique MSRT? So we have to learn to produce the sound in the body by repeating the sound in the mind. Mind sound producing the resonance in the body is called the mind sound resonance technique. And what characterizes the shabda is space. Sound is the quality and the substance of the space. So, in the physical space called the Bahyakasha, the sound that travels is known as the Ahata sound. But in the mental space, where the sound travels, it is the unheard sound called the Anahata. And therefore, we have three layers of space: Bahyakasha, Chittakasha, and Chidakasha. Chidakasha is the highest. Bahyakasha is the gross space. Chittakasha exists in Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnananandamaya Kosha. Chidakasha is that which is beyond the five koshas. That is pure consciousness. Therefore, what we are talking here is the ahata sound and the anahata sound. The sound that is heard and the sound that is unheard. These are the relations related to space and sound. And we produce a sound in the mental space called the anahata sound and produce the resonance in the body. That is a special technique that we have developed here in the MSRT, mind sound resonance technique.
Excellent.
So now, what is to be done? We have to learn to produce resonance. So that's our first step in the practice. So we have the loud sound A, U, and M. And putting all the three things together, we have the Om. So first we do this. Produce the sound in the body. A has the lowest frequency. Therefore, this produces resonance in the lower parts of the body, below this waist, in the legs, essentially, the lower part. Then Bu has the middle frequency, so it produces resonance in the middle part of the body. And Ma is the highest frequency, so it produces resonance in the upper part of the body, the entire head region. So by repeating this sound, A, U, and Ma, we learn how to bring resonance in the lower parts of the body, middle parts of the body, and the head region. Then we learn how to combine the three things, A, U, Ma. This is known as Om. And when you produce this, first the resonance occurs in the lower part, then it comes to the middle part and goes to the upper part. This I call it as a resonant wave. there is a movement of the resonant wave from the toes to the head. When we repeat ah, ma in a single breath. This we go on repeating until we learn how to produce resonance in the lower parts, in the middle part, and the upper part. Once we learn, then we go to the next step. We produce the same resonance in the body by repeating in the mind. So to get the resonance at the body level by mind sound, by the anahata sound, is known as the mind sound resonance. So this is what we have to learn. So after learning A, Bhuma and Omkara, then we do the same thing in the mind. In the mind we repeat A, U, and Om and produce the same resonance in the body. This technique is the MSRT, mind sound resonance technique.
Previous.
Previous time. So resonance changes the mind. How normally the mind always thinks of the future or the past. So we are thinking of what's happened yesterday, day before yesterday, and what is going to happen tomorrow if I do this, all these things, or so on, past and the present, future. Hardly we are in the present. So MSRT helps to bring the mind to present. That is the key essence for the yoga practices. In all yoga practices, whether it is asana, pranayama, mudra, spanda, kriya, meditation, any practice you do, the mind should be brought to present. That is what's going to happen when we do the resonance. You are immersed in the present.
Next.
In the next slide, we show the difference between resonance and flutter. Resonance occurs when there is matching of the frequency and the phase. You can see sketch number 1 and 2. Both the waves start at the same point. This is called as matching of the phase. Then the number of cycles per second is the same. We call it as 1 wave per second. 60 waves in a minute. Then we have the same frequency and it starts at the same point. Therefore, the two waves match each other in both amplitude, frequency, and phase, and that generates the resonance which we are talking. Supposing you see the figure number 2 and 3. What is happening? The first wave has started. After it has completed half the wave, the second wave starts. And therefore, when the two waves are put together, you can see that there is cancellation. It's called out of the phase or the 180 degrees phase shift. One complete wave is 360 waves, 360 degrees, and 180 degrees. So this becomes out of phase. So the two waves combined together to produce no sound. This is the one that happens when we are out of phase, is called. So when we all are in the same phase, we generate a lot of energy. But if we are out of phase, we don't produce the necessary energy. It may nullify. There are good, there are the bad things in the world. When all the good people join together, there is an increased frequency in the resonance, which increases the goodness, can produce the positive change in the entire global spectrum. But on the other hand, the good and the bad come together. The effectiveness, goodness can go away by the nullifying effect of the bad things. But if the two bad things combine together, then the effect of the vices, effect of bad will increase tremendously. So in this current context, the relevance is to see that we match in all our good things and do not allow the negative things to grow. We should be in tune with each other, with one another, all over the world. That's what we adopt the synchronized global prayers. Every day morning 8 o'clock Indian time and then evening 6 o'clock. Lakhs of people all over the world have started practicing this 6 minutes practice. So we understood what is the resonance, what is out of phase lead to that. Then you go to the next step, and that is picture number 4. In 4A, you can see that in 1 second there are 2 waves. Compared to 1 and 2 or 3, it is 1 wave per second. Here it is 2 waves per second. In 4B, I have shown 3 waves in a second. In 4C, you can see 4 waves per second. So these are called the harmonics. The first harmonic is 2 waves, second harmonic is 3 waves per second, and then we have 4 waves, and goes on and on. Now when the main wave combines itself with its harmonic, then a very special effect comes. That special effect is called flutter. When there is a matching of the phase and the amplitude, but there is harmonics combined with the main wave, then the phenomenon of flutter takes place. This phenomenon was observed in the aeroplane wings which are there. And when the aeroplane starts, then the wings will show this flutter. It produces a very special effect. So now, how to produce this flutter compared to resonance? Resonance, we understood how to do that. Take the breath. Produce sound throughout the head region. Brahmari, Ma. Now, how to produce the flutter? For that, we keep a little air in the mouth and push the sound through the mouth. Particularly, woo. You can produce this flutter. So we inhale. You can feel the vibration. You can feel the flutter. So this is the second dimension for the flutter. Producing flutter in our system can open up the blocks, phobias, obsession, what are part of the granthis in the body. In the next slide, we distinguish between echo and resonance. Echo is akin to reflections. So you look at the mirror and you can see the face in the mirror. Depending on the distance you have from your mirror to face, the same distance you can see from the mirror backwards. If we have parallel mirrors, indicated here by the two red lines, what happens is the same picture gets reflected one after another, one after another. And you can see a large number of images in one mirror, one behind the other, one behind the other. Just parallel mirrors. There could be infinite reflections. If this is the dimension of light, a similar thing happens at the sound level. When the sound gets reflected, it's called as echo. In the next slide, you can see this process of echo. In echo, compared to the resonance, there is a single wave here. The single wave gets reflected. Imagine something like a dome, as I've shown here. In the floor, in the center, you stay there, and they produce a sound. To produce a sound. This sound goes and gets reflected from different portions of the walls of the pyramid. And that comes back. Again, it gets up and comes back. Up and down, up and down, up and down, it happens. And this reflected sound is the echo. And when it continues, the echo continues, it produces what we call as reverberation. So you can see the graph below. That is the way the cycle goes on, coming down, becoming smaller, 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 and becomes silence. So when you produce one sound, it goes on getting reflected again and again, and its intensity comes down and becomes silent. So from the point to the point when it becomes again silent, the time taken is known as the reverberation time. So in all our houses, in all buildings, when we talk, the vibrations, the sound vibrations spread everywhere and gets reflected from the roof, from the sides, and comes back to us. Again gets reflected from the floor and goes up and down, goes on by. But if the reverberation time is very, very small, then you have the clarity of the sound being received by the people. But if the reverberation time is more, then you are talking, there's going to be a lot of echo, and you cannot grasp what the person is talking. So in all cinema houses, in the sound studios, etc., we have to take care of this to see that we have the least TR at the reverberation time. Similarly, application to this body, when we're repeating the sound, the reflections can take place. Apart from the resonance, there can be reflections from outside, reflection from the surroundings. And that reflection from outside should be reduced. And thereby, fully focus your mind to the internal dimensions of the mind. So in the next slide, now we have to use also what is called as the mantras. Mantras are part of a special subject called the Tantra Shastra. Just like we have the Yoga Shastra, the science of yoga, there is also the Tantra Shastra, the subject of Tantra. In this Tantra, we have got the sound aspect, the mantras, and the visual aspect called the yantras. So in MSRT, we use the mantra aspect of the Tantra Shastra, whereas the yantra aspect of the Tantra Shastra is used in our MIRT, mind imagery technique. So, what are these mantras? Mantras are formation of special resonant wave patterns using the mantras, you can achieve the different effects. The mantras can be very small or it can be very big. The smallest of the mantra is Om. Then we chanted the Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. And you can have still longer mantras. And each mantra has its own special effect. And that was studied in great depth by our ancient yoga masters and made a huge science out of it. When you want a particular effect, you have a particular mantra. That comes under what we call the Pura Mimamsa, the ritualistic worship of gods and goddesses. Each mantra is associated with a particular god or goddess, the entities in the higher layers of our consciousness. That is what. As we know today in science, the research that we do has to be applied to bring the effects to the life. So that is done through technology. There's science and technology. Similarly, we had Uttara Mimamsa and Pura Mimamsa, that is the Upanishads and the ritualistic dimension, yajnas, havanas, homas, pujas, and other things. So here, what we do is to use these mantras to bring about different effects in the body. The effect that we are looking here is to strengthen the immune system and to remove all the wrong notions that immune parameters may have. Particularly in the context of cancer, you may know that cancer cells are not powerful invaders from outside as coronaviruses or infectious disease. These cells are born in the body. In all our bodies, every day a billion cells get created and a billion cells get destroyed. Out of these billion cells that are created, there could be 1,000 cells which are not created the way they had to be created. They are naughty children. They don't follow any discipline. They don't want to follow any rules and regulations. They go haywire. So they do not follow what we call the apoptosis. Apoptosis is a programmed cell death. Every cell has to follow Srishti Sthiti Laya. They are born, they stay for some hours, days, months, and they have to die. This is the law of the trifold law of the creation. But these cells do not want to follow the rules of the game. So they don't want to follow the apoptosis. So as a result of that, they create harm, confusion, haphazardness, and lead to different diseases, particularly the cancer. The cancer cells start spreading everywhere and causes the problem. So what is to be done? We have to remove the wrong notions that immune system gets into, thinking that these cancer cells are my good friends. Instead of recognizing that cancer cells are bad and gobbling them up, as it happens in all normal people, in cancer people, this immune system thinks that this my cancer cells are my good friends, allows them to grow. So as a result, the cells spread everywhere and they die. And cancer is known as one of the most dreaded diseases. Once you have cancer, your days are numbered, they come to pass. So we use this special mantras to deal with that, and particularly the Mahamrityunjaya mantra is meant to see that this doesn't happen. The immune system that gets suppressed by excessive stress, excessive fears, and other things are responsible for the growth of cancer. If a person is very much afraid, then the cancer grows very fast. If a person is very bold and positive, then the growth of cancer is halted and even he may become normal. To make this possible, we use the mantra, here particularly the mantra chosen, particularly for the purpose, the Mahamrutyunjaya mantra, which we chanted in the beginning. That we are going to do that. So we use the mantras after the understanding and the practice. The next slide. The next slide we see the dimensions, the sound, how each sound has its own special effect to bring about the different levels of quality of the mind. This depends on the three personality traits, tamas, rajas, and sattva. The sounds related to them are also the gross, subtle, and the causal. That brings about the necessary changes of the mind. The mind also is very lazy, lethargic, drowsiness, sleepiness. That is tamasic mind. Rasic mind always running, fast and super sensitive and hypersensitive and very, very fast and leads to uncontrolled speed of the mind as well. Whereas the sattvic sounds are very soothing, comfortable, and calmness and peace pervades. So each have their own repercussions in the whole dimension. So when we are going to chant the special mantras or the special letters, then it will have its own effect. That has to be monitored, changed, and should be normalized. This is the dimension. So in the next slide, we have the narration of this Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. Already I explained to you that this Mahamrutyunjaya mantra is a worship to the three-eyed yogi, the Adi Yogi Shiva. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe. We worship the Lord of Lords, the Adi Yogi Shiva, who is three-eyed. That means he is aware of everything that's happening around the globe. And what is the purpose of this thing? To raise us from the death to immortality. From our lowest level, we become normal, great, super, divine human beings and reach that ultimate perfection itself. So this is made possible by removing the bondages that we have and by increasing the energy levels within us to increase the fragrance and utility and fragrance and the power, fragrance and the energy. Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam. Sugandhim is beautiful fragrance. Pushtivardhanam, full of energy, dynamism, vitality, energy. And this entire process is done effortlessly. That's the important thing. When we really struggle hard and get into this thing. But a person can do that effortlessly. So Mahamrutyunjaya mantra, when chanted properly, when used properly, can remove all our bondages and take us to the highest heights of the moksha, the nirvana itself. So this is the meaning of the Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. Next slide. There are two dimensions of the effects of the mantra. That are the exoteric and the esoteric. Exoteric is the gross aspect of the sound resonant waves of mantra. What happens essentially at the body level? The resonance, the patterns of resonant waves of the Mahamrutyunjaya has its effect on the body. So what is the effect? At the body level, it harmonizes, it energizes, it vitalizes our entire immune system. And the immune system gets wonderfully strengthened by this process. And at the subtle level, how this is achieved, that's the esoteric dimension. The subtle inner aspects of the sound through anahata sound waves, which bring the resonance at the body level also. But at the mind level, emotional level, subtle level, that's known as the esoteric aspect of the mantra. When you repeat this mantra, then it has got this innate effects as well. And that brings the mind to calmness, peace, harmony, full of positive dimensions, full of energy, vitality at the mind level. This is the advantage. The next slide, we can see that MSRT brings mind to present, helps in bringing the mind to silence, and we know that silence is bliss and takes us from one level to the other level of the silence because silence is not a single state that we are talking. So these are the effects of the MSRT. That's what we are going to do. And layers of silence exist, and it's been quantified in our Taittiriya Upanishad in the whole Upanishads. So they're all designated and named as different levels. The first one is called the Manushya Loka, then Manushya Gandharva Loka, then Deva Gandharva Loka, the Pitru Loka. So the happiness which a person gets, sense pleasure. Imagine that you have got the highest power and you have all the wealth of the world and you are very young, energetic, full of vitality, dynamism to enjoy the world. And you have all the sense pleasures that have been offered to you. And you are very young and energetic. How much happiness you can have through the sense pleasure? That's called 1 unit. Yuva syat sadhu yuvadhyayakaha ashishto tradishto barishtaha tasya iyam prithvi sarva vittasya purna syat sayepo manusha anandaha. That's how it starts. Then 100 times of that is called Manushya Gandharva Ananda. 100 quotes more, 100 quotes more. Like that it goes on and on and on, bringing greater and greater freedom. Deva Manushya Gandharva Pitru Loka, then Ajana Dana Deva Loka, Karma Deva Loka, Deva Loka, Indra Loka, Brahaspati Loka, Prajapati Loka, and Brahma Loka. Brahma Loka is the highest bliss, Anandamaya Kosha. 10 to the power of 20 times that of the best happiness you can get through the sense pleasure. And we can all move towards this higher stages by using our freedom. That's why Swami Vivekananda always used to say, man is the maker of his own destiny. We can make or mar ourselves. That you can continuously grow day by day to the higher heights, or we can deteriorate. If we don't do anything, then we can deteriorate. So in the next slide, we have the dimensions. It will be in conclusion, what you call it, the resolve. So when the mind is in that wonderful state of silence, calmness and peace, we make a resolve, a sankalpa. And that is a positive thought. We know that the positive thoughts can bring tremendous positive effect. Power of positive thinking is unimaginable. The proverb goes, as you think, so you become. You are what you think are. So, the negative things also when combines at that level, it can have very negative effect. You can have the negative thing that's coming up and can devastate you. So we have to change. If you want good health, you have to have the positive thought. So in the resolve, we are going to have a positive thought that is composed. In the next slide, we show that. For the resolve or sankalpa. The sankalpa, therefore, we have a simple sentence that we formulate saying that my immune system is very strong, or I'm very, very, very happy all the time. You can say my body is very light, energetic, and can fight to any length. So different thoughts. Any thought that you want can be formulated, should be not more than about 6 words. Then use that sankalpa, that wonderful state of bliss and calmness. Thereby, we have a wonderful, nice, strengthened will, and that will start bringing the desired result. Sankalpa is the one that's very important, bring the desired result that you are seeking, using the particular sound pattern of the mantra that you have chosen. So with this, now we'll proceed to do the practice of the MSR. Before you go further, if you have some questions, please write down the sheet and send them to this, and then I will answer them. So 2 or 3 minutes for you to write down or type it out and send. Or you can ask the question also if you have.
Any question you want to ask? Or you can message to Kuldeep, he will pass to Guruji. We'll continue Guruji for practice.
We'll start the practice and you can come back for the this later on also. No problem.
Yeah.
You hear Shivani in the background.
Okay, let's start with the practice, Manoj. So they will send the questions and then Kuldeep is going to take and do that. At the end, we'll do the practice. At the end of the practice, we'll answer the question if you have any. In the practice also, you may get some doubts.
Yeah.
So sit very relaxed, comfortable. Relax all parts of the body. You can remove your specs, close your eyes. Be comfortable. Nice smile on the face. Start with the prayer, Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. Remember the meaning that we worship the Lord Shiva, the Adi Yogi, the three-eyed Shiva, all the infinite power, freedom, bliss, and knowledge. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv Bandhanat Mrityormukshiyamamrutat Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a deep breath and we'll repeat Ah and produce resonance in the lower parts of the body. 3 times. when we repeat the move, produce the resonance in the middle part of the body, from waist to the neck, essentially. Inhale. Feel those vibrations in the middle part of the body. Inhale again. Inhale. The lower and the middle parts of the body are charged. Now, come to bring the mind focus higher level. Makar again. One more round. Now in a single breath, we repeat all the three, A, U and Ma. Inhale fully. Three rounds done. Now feel the resonance throughout the body. You will go to Ahata, Anahata. Inhale. Feel the vibrations in the lower part. Inhale. Repeat the same Ah in the mind and produce the same resonance in the body. Inhale. Same Mukara in the mind. Inhale. Repeat the same move in the mind. Produce the same resonance in the middle parts of the body. Now the Makara. Inhale. Inhale. Repeat the same udara in the mind. Produce the same resonance in the head region. Now, go to A-U-Ma in a single breath. Inhale fully. Inhale fully. Repeat the same A-U-Ma in the mind. Produce the same resonant wave in the body. On the second round, Ahata Anahata. Inhale. Anahata in the mind. Same resonance in the lower parts of the body. Inhale. Same udara in the mind. The vibrations in the middle part of the body. Inhale. Inhale. Makara in the mind. Resonance in the head region. The third round. Inhale. Makara in the mind. Same Makara in the mind. Same vibrations in the middle part of the body. Inhale. Same Makara in the mind. And resonance in the upper parts of the body. Inhale fully. Inhale fully. Produce the same avum in a single breath. Produce the same resonance wave in the body. With that, now we come to the next. The body is sensitized. We are able to feel the resonance. I will try to incorporate that into the Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. When you repeat this mantra, then different sound wave patterns and also the flutters, resonance will occur in different parts of the body, releasing the blocks and the stresses in those places. You have to observe that, feel the goodness that is happening.
त्र्यम्बकैर्यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्
Feel the resonant wave patterns in different parts of the body. Second round.
त्र्यम्बकैर्यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्
The vibrations over the body. Special resonance patterns are emanating up in the body.
त्र्यम्बकैर्यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्
Now we go to Ahata, Anahata of the Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. Om
त्र्यम्बकैर्यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्
Repeat the same Mahamrutyunjaya mantra in the mind. Okay, Anahata. We have second round. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe
सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्
We do one more round. Ahata Anahata. Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Om
त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्
Same mantra in the mind. Same resonant wave patterns in the body. Okay. On repeating that Om in the mind. Om inside the mind. Produce that resonant wave throughout the body. 9 rounds. As we repeat the Om in the mind, Anahata, all body picks up the vibration is getting charged more and more. 9 rounds of Om in the mind, Om in the mind, feeling the vibration throughout the body. Whole body is charged with the wonderful vibrations, and the mind has become calm and quiet. In that state of expanded awareness, let us make a resolve. Choose your own resolve. Or all of you can take a resolve to strengthen our immune systems. By the power of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. Repeat that in the mind 9 times. As I repeat, you can follow that in your own mind. With our power of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. With our power of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. With our power of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. With our power of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. With our power of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. With our power of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. With our silence, we strengthen our immune systems. The last round. With all our powers of silence, we strengthen our immune systems. After 9 rounds of resolve, we are able to strengthen our immune systems and to move towards better health. That all of us be happy, healthy, continuously grow towards greater and greater heights of silence, peace, energy, vitality, and bliss. Namaskara Mudra. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thank you all very much. Hope all of you will continue this. And particularly, every day, 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time, we have the STP, Synchronized Global Prayer. All over the world, people have been doing that, either in the morning or in the evening, depending on their time or both times. And this will build a positive global field, positive global field that will help to overcome the present crisis of corona. The corona power can be nullified by our positive global thinking. So I request all of you to join our entire team all over the world. Lakhs of people are doing either in the morning 8 o'clock or in the evening at 6 o'clock Indian Standard Time. So your time will be 10:30 in the morning or 8:30 in the evening, I think. Right, Manoj?
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. Yes, right.
Thank you and all the best.
Yeah.
If anybody has got
Yeah.
questions, now we can
Any
spend a few minutes.
question? Somebody want to ask question?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you.
The question I have is, we spoke about different kinds of sounds, which is resonance, flutter, then echo, reverberation. So I just want to clarify my understanding that all these kinds of sounds are beneficial because all of them are different and at different frequency, or is it that some sound has a beneficial effect and the other does not?
The